Hi and welcome to a new video about .NET MAUI and Telerik Components. This is the fifth video about Telerik Components. In the earlier ones I talked about data grid, charts, image editor, toolbar and document processing. Today I will show you some controls that can make your app better. They are maybe smaller than the controls in my previous videos, but they can do a lot for the user experience in your apps. So if you already have Progress components, for example you buy them for charts, I recommend you to also use those controls because this will make your app look better and it will make it work better. So take a look at those. Before we start to go to Visual Studio and write some code, I will say thank you to Progress Telerik for sponsoring this video. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my channel if you're not already do that. And also like my video. And if you will support the channel a little bit extra, you can also go and click the super thanks button. Okay, let's start. And the first control we will go with is the accordion control. So we will go and open Visual Studio and I will show you how to use that one. So here we have Visual Studio for Mac, and if you have watched my previous videos, I guess you are familiar with this project called UseStats, where I use data from YouTube to show you the progress controls. So the accordion, this is the first view of the app, and my idea here is that we can show some stats from the maybe last 3 videos in an accordion. So what we need to do is that we need to import the Telerik namespace that I already have done here. And then we can go and create accordion. So if you have watched my other videos or used components from Telerik before, you know now that all controls start with rad for rapid. So Telerik rad accordion. And the root control will just be like that, and then we can start to add items to them. So let's add a first item, Telerik accordion item, and here we set a header text, and this will be latest video, for example, like that. And then we can add another one, maybe with a pie chart with likes versus dislikes, like this. Dislikes. To an accordion we will add some content, so we do that. Telerik accordion item dot content, and here we can add whatever we want. I will use a vertical stack layout and a bindable layout so that we can bind some videos to it. So let's do that. So we create a vertical stack layout. Of course you can use a regular stack layout too, but I prefer to use the vertical one because that has better performance. And now bindable layout dot item source, and we create a binding to the property I have called latest video, like that. And now we need an item template, so bindable layout dot item template, just like that. And of course we add a data template here, as we always do when we work with bindings and collections of data. So I have prepared that template a bit, so I just paste it in here. As you can see, we have a grid, we have an image with a thumbnail, we have likes, views, dislikes, subscribers gained. So, and to the second one, likes with dislikes, we will add some content. So we do the same here, Telerik accordion item dot content, like that. And now we will go and add some content to the second one. So we do the same, Telerik item dot content, like that. And then we take a pie chart that I already prepared as well. So we have a Telerik rad pie chart that I showed you in the video about charts. So now we can go and run this, let's say on an iPhone. And so now the apps look like this. You have the latest videos. We can go to likes vs dislikes. We have an animation. We can go back. So that is, the accordion is the simplest form. But of course you can go and customize things here also. So if you go here to the red accordion, we can see that you can can collapse all items. We can say set that to true. We can set spacing to 20, for example. We can set animation duration to make it really slow. We can set an easing if we want to. And we will do that from enum, so we say static and easing dot, let's say cubic in. And now we can see how this looks. And now we can see that both of them can be collapsed and we have some spacings between them. We have slow animation. That can be pretty nice from time to time. At least it's nice that you can customize to be like you want it. So the next thing we will take a look at is the BusyIndicator. Okay, you have the activity indicator in dotNETMAUI, but the BusyIndicator makes things a little bit easier because you don't have to handle, should this be visible now, should this not be visible now. The only thing you need to do is to create a BusyIndicator and say if it should be busy or not. So let's do that. We go here and then we wrap all of the content in a BusyIndicator. Telerik colon BusyIndicator, red BusyIndicator, and we take that one and move it to the end, just like that. And now we say is busy is binding to the is busy property that we have, and it should just be like that. You don't have to add the activity indicator control. You don't need to set if this one should be visible or not. That will be handled by the control. And of course, this doesn't need to be the root control. You can have it in one accordion item, for example, if you want to. So let's take a look how it looks without doing any customizations. And here you can see the BusyIndicator. I added a delay to make it more visible, but I think it was a bit small, so we'll go and make it bigger. And we can do that by saying animation height request, let's say 150, and the same for the width request, 150. And you can also set a color, so animation content color, let's say use our accent color, so static resource accent color, and this one will be red. So now we can go and run the application again, and now we can see it's much bigger and it's red. And if you want to have another type of loading indicator, you can also have that. They have 10 different animations that you can use. So we can take a look here what's available for you. So we have this one and those. So you can see it, you can control the size and color that we already have done. So let's go and change to, let's say, animation 6. So we minimize that window and we go here and set animation type, and then we say animation 6, just like that, and we take a look. And now we have another animation compared to what we had before, and we have a lot of more options compared to the activity indicator that comes with dotNETMAUI, and that can make your app a little bit more unique compared to other dotNETMAUI apps. So another control that we will take a look at is the Popup control. And Popup can be used in different ways. You can have it as a model, and that is what I will show you today, but you can also have it like popping up in the middle of the screen. For example, if I click this one, you can have a model popping up here. So I will show you the model pop-up. So we will create that one outside of the content. So we will create that one at top of the page. Telerik, rod, pop-up, .popup. And here inside of here we will add a pop-up. Telerik pop-up. We will give it a name. Just pop-up. And we can say is model true. We can say placement, center for example. And we can also set outside background color if we want to have a backdrop. So you can say that one should be black. And now we need to add a content template to it. So we do telerik.rod popup.content template, and as usual with templates we add a data template. And here we can add a grid, for example, that we can say it should have a width request of 250, and we add a label, text, hello from Daniel, just like that. And now we can go and trigger this pop-up to open, and that is something that we need to do in the code behind. So we can just go and add a gesture recognizer to the grid here, so that when we click an item it will open the pop-up. So grid.gesture recognizers, tap gesture recognizer, tapped, new event handler, just like that. And now we go to that one and we say pop-up dot is open is equal to true, just like that. And here we can see that Visual Studio for Mac has some problem with that one, but it should work because we give it a name pop-up. So if you go here and we click that one, you can see we have no content, we just have the backdrop. And that is because in all pop-ups we need to have a Telerik rad border. So we will wrap the grid in Telerik rad border, and we move the width request up there, and then we can also set the background color, white for example, like that, and then we'll move the grid inside there, and we can take a look how the app looks now. So we go here and we tap the item, and now we have the pop-up. And of course we can style that one, we can add some padding here, we can add some corner radius, and the pop-up will look much nicer. So now if we click this item, it will look like this. And of course you can have the background transparent if you want to. It's just to set a transparent color. So you have now a Telerik rad border inside of a pop-up, but you can use the Telerik rad border whatever you want. So it doesn't have to be inside of a pop-up. For example, if we go down here to the pie chart, we can add a border control around it. So Telerik rad border. I really like this control because it's nice to wrap content around, and if you want to have some, a card feeling, for example, corner radius, I think 20 looked pretty good. We can set the background color, light gray, and we can have a border brush if you want to have a border around the border, so to say, but you know what I mean. We need a border around this control. So border brush can be black. We can have border thickness 2 pixels, and we can also use border color here if we want to have a simple color, but it's good that we can use brushes too. So let's go and see how the rad border looks in this case. So if you open this item, we can now see that control, but of course we want to have some padding around here also, so we can do that by wrapping it in another control and set padding, or we can add some margins here. So let's add a margin of 20. and we can set another background color because this was very close to the one that we had on the other background, so we say white instead. So now if you open here, we have the card like this. And of course you can customize this how you want it to look. So next control is the batch control, and that is a control that you can use, for example, if you want to have a small batch with a number around it. I will show you that. So we can take this control again and we can wrap it in a batch. So we use the Telerik rad batch view, and we will wrap the content inside of it like that, and then we can set a batch vertical position and have that in end. We can set batch offset X and Y, so that's 10 for both of them, or we should have -10 instead. Batch offset I -10, and we can add the contents to the batch. Telerik dot batch view dot content, just like that. And of course we need to add some content for the actual batch or text for the batch. Let's close the debugger so we get rid of the errors in the editor. So we say here batch type, and this will be default, and then we can add some batch text, and we can set that to be binding views. So let's go and see how the batch look. So open that one here, and then we have the batch at the end here, but that's maybe not where we want to have it. We maybe want to have it in top here, or we want, so then we can move it by saying batch vertical position is start. And you can see that we also have a batch horizontal position if we want to have it on another place, but we can have it there for now. And if we change the type, for example for add, it will be a plus sign inside of the batch. And we can also set a batch background color. We can set a batch border color and then a batch text color here. So, but we don't do that now. We just look how the batch type add will be. And now we have the batch at the top, and of course if we want to be on the border here, we can fix that with setting the offsets. But now you can see we have batch type add, and we got another color, but we still have the number of views here. And that because when we have a batch text, it will of course use that one. So if we want to have a plus sign, we need to remove the batch text from there. And now we can see that we have a plus sign that will be default for batch type add. And all the types that we can have, if we take a look, is add, available, away, default, do not disturb, dot, offline, out of office, react, and remove. And if you want to see more about that, you can take a look at the documentation. You can see here we have dot, default, available, add, remove, away, and so on. So now I've shown you 5 controls from Progress Telerik that makes your apps a little bit better. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel and press the like button for this video. And of course, you need to go and check out Progress Telerik, and please use the link in the video description. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you next time. Bye bye.